angles today. I am coming to you live from over here and then live on TikTok over there, just because I was so busy today at the studio. It was crazy, and I didn't have time to charge my camera over here. So you're going to be joining me from down there a little bit. I will try to hold things up in both areas so that you can see. Actually, maybe I'll just move these guys. If I move these guys kind of over here, okay, let me just move that screen over there. That one has to stay there till that's a little more charged. So I apologize if it's a little awkward, but you can still see. Heck, maybe it's even a better view. I'm gonna actually put that up on something. Just give me one. I need a little bit of time. I didn't realize that. Oh, there we go. There. Now it's not so awkward. Okay, so if you've been following along through this journey through the Flower Farm Sampler Quilt, so this is the book. If you've been making the blocks along with me, then you know that we are just a hop, skip, and a small jump, because some of these blocks require us to make more than one, or more than two, or three. Some of them are like 12 and 4 and 10, a little bit more than we've been making, but we can do this. We've got this. So what I thought we would do today is I'm going to make the last 4 blocks with you. So we're going to make some of block 15, which you need 10 of in order to make this quilt. It's the little roses here. It's the little roses there. So we need to make 10. We're going to do a couple together, and then you'll get some homework, and you need to go make the rest of them on your own. Okay? So you have a week. You have a week. Yes, as long as the dog was okay, she gets fixed on next Wednesday, the 1st. As long as she's okay, we're going to come live, okay? And then we're going to I'm going to show you how we put it all together, and we'll start putting it together. Then we need to make 4 out of the Forget-Me-Nots block 16. That's the cute little X blocks here. Okay? I'll show you how to make those. Then I was looking at block 17 and 18, which is leaflets and sprigs. There's no N in it, sprigs. So it's a little X, like a little leaf block there. And then it's like a row of leaves. See how it's like a row of the leaves? They're actually very similar blocks. It's just the layout has changed. So I thought we could do those together. We could sew those, okay? Those are easy. It's the same. You start out the same. It's just the ending. Step 3 is different in the 2 blocks. And that really is it. It's the same way to put it together. So I think we got this. I think we're going to be okay. If you don't like the view here on TikTok, please go over to our YouTube channel. I'm live there, and vice versa. If you don't like this view, go over to TikTok and you get kind of an angled view. All right, so let's get started. I have everything cut up. I'm pretty sure I have everything cut. And for 17 and 18, I just cut a huge pile of green and a huge pile of background. And I didn't cut any white. I cut all the white fairy dust or fairy flakes, the off-white, and then I cut some pink polka dots. And I thought those would be great because I've used them in all my backgrounds. And I chose not to put white, and I'll use white if I run out of other backgrounds. So that was my plan. Might be a little crazy, but I think it's a good plan. I like the color. The color on TikTok is a little bit more realistic than that color. It's a little faded over there, but you can see behind me here. You can't see it there, but you can, I'll lift up the camera. You can see behind me that I have made some of the flower blocks, and then there's other blocks behind me that have been made over the course of this class. So I'm really excited. Actually, I should get, I wonder if that would fall over. Oh, I was looking for it. I don't know if this is charged. I'm going to try this stand because it will follow me around the room. And the other stand just flew off onto the floor. It was not a happy happy thing. Okay, I didn't lose anybody. Hoping that'll work out just fine. So that one rotates a little better. Okay, so let's start making our flower blocks, our rose blocks. That's block 15. I'm going to, I don't see any comments. Hello. Oh yeah, hello. Hey, how's it going? Simply Sweet Fabrics, I think. Hello. And I have a special treat for when we're done. For when we're done. Somewhere we'll take a break and I have a special little treat for everyone. I have some fabrics. Hello to Anna. I'm good. How are you? Actually, I'm doing much better. I have had some health issues. Nothing life-threatening. Definitely nothing life-threatening. Hey, we're getting ready to sew all these blocks together. We'll make them all. We will sew them all together next week, as long as the dog gets from her. Oh my goodness, from her surgery. She goes in next week to get, so she can't become a mama. I don't know if this is gonna work. It's being very silly. Today is just one of those days where things are being very silly. Okay. Hopefully it doesn't pop off again. Let's fingers crossed. I'm pulling an all-nighter. I have to. Oh, okay. If I have to. Okay. I hate to hear that, but I'm glad it's not life-threatening. No, I have, I'm taking my blood pressure medication now because apparently my blood pressure was retardedly high, like 224 over 114 or some crazy thing. Like, how did I not know? That could be why I'm tired, why I have brain fog, why I had aches and pains. Like it can lead to a whole bunch of things. But I'm on some medication and they're monitoring it, and I have a blood pressure cuff, and we're on it. And I'm taking time to relax. I'm going to make some better decisions in my diet. Not that I don't eat well. I probably don't eat great. But anyways, we're doing okay. Sewing retreat starts on Saturday. Registration starts Friday night. You can join us through our virtual live stream. If you need more information about that, just let me know. It is on our website, www.quiltsforsurvivors.ca. All the information is there. So what we're going to make first is these cute little rose blocks. Okay? They're not hard. They're just weird. They're kind of weird, and they're a little like, okay, wait a minute. You just got to think, and you've got to watch how those drawn lines, you got to make sure that you line those up right, and that you just pay attention and watch your 1/4 inch, and then just trim down as needed throughout the process, and you get beautiful blocks. Okay, so I've chosen to do, you could have done 6 light and 6 dark. That's what the book recommends. I have chosen to do all of my roses in different colors, so 12 different colors. I am not going to sew all of the blocks today. I still have lots of prepping to do for the sewing retreat, but I am going to start. So what we're going to do is make a couple of 15, a couple of 16. Actually, we might make all of 16 because there's only 4. We'll see how well they go together. We're going to make some 17s and some 18s. 17 and 18, the units themselves, like we mentioned before, are the same. All we need to do is it's the layout changes, okay? So I'm not going to make all of these blocks live tonight. I don't have the time or the bandwidth, like the energy to do that when I still have a few things I need to do that take me out of the house. And the kids are gone, so I want to get some of the stuff done, because they come back halfway through the retreat, and it's just easier if, would have been easier if they were with their dad the whole retreat, like left Friday and came back 5 days later, but we still have to be a mom. I still have those mom duties to do. So I have a few things to do later that require me to do things. So let's see how well we do. All right, I am sure that the instructions seem relatively clear, and if you follow them, you will be okay. I promise. It's just a little bit tricky, but super fun. And I had to make some of these because I was like, what are they doing? And I wanted to make sure that when I show you how to make these rose blocks, that you're not like, what? Because I was kind of like, what are they even, what? I was a little confused, but it's not so bad. The blocks on Design Wall look absolutely gorgeous. Thank you. I have blocks over here and blocks over there and blocks over there. I have a half finished quilt. I was hoping to get it ready for the sewing retreat so that I could show it off because it is a fun jelly roll quilt, but we'll see. I think I put too much on my plate and then I, should have kind of spread it out more. And then all you can eat buffet, and I should have just went, should have just broke it down into, froze some of it, broke it down into musical chunks or something. I don't know. All right, let's get started. So the rose block, the tea rose block, they finish at 4x4. So they're unfinished at 4.5. There you go. Missy understands. So what you need is you need a center fabric. So something to put in the center of your roses. I've chosen several different yellows, all yellows that I've used throughout the quilt. I thought was a good idea. Then you need some background squares. I've chosen this off-white, I think it's called Fairy Flakes. I think that's what it is. It's a tulle. All my fabric is Tula Pink. And then I've chosen 2 coordinating colors, so some solids and some prints in different colors, but they coordinate. And that's how I'm making all of my roses. And I'll show, I have, I think this is the wonkiest one I did because it's 2 totally different colors. But I think it turned out really nice. I think it's great. All right. And I got lots of compliments on my blocks behind me there from people who've seen them. And I haven't been on live this week at all, really, because I don't think I have. I was on Sunday, I think, because we're so busy getting things done for the retreat, for the gala. So 2 different events, very large events, both of them. And just I still have to do my regular work. And I still have to be a mom. And I still need to rest and take care of myself. So it's been one of those weeks. But I'm excited because after the retreat's over, we do get a couple of days off to just sit and relax. I mean, I still have to be a mom, but I get to just relax and be in my sewing room creating things. And I'm going to take a little bit of extra time around Thanksgiving to have a little bit more rest. So that's always good. But let's get started. So what you're going to do is you're going to take one of your centers, whatever you've chosen, and then put it with, if you've chosen different yellows for different fabrics, you know what you're doing. I'm going to do what I'm doing. It'll be kind of the same. So we're going to take our 2 sets of colors. So you have a set of light and a set of dark. Okay. So we have A rectangles, B rectangles, and C rectangles. Those are from your fabric 14, possibly fabric 12. Then I have just them from one set. And then I have these ones. These are my darker fabrics. These are my lighter fabrics. And then there's a rectangle D and a square CE. E is the square. And then of course the background. And you need 4 per tea rose block. So in this case, we're going to make 12 blocks, 6 dark and 6 light. In my case, I'm just making 12 blocks, all different colors, because why stick to something when you can do it fun? So what we're going to do is we're going to take one of our A blocks, we're going to take 2 of our C blocks, and we're going to sew them to either side, to 2 sides of our A block. Okay, and that'll be our first row. So again, okay, we're going to take a center square and we're going to sew. Now, if you look here, let me show you this. This is your A, this is your C. It's a rectangle. It will only fit one side. It'll only fit one side. So make sure you have it on the right, going the right way. Otherwise, it won't fit. Okay? And so that I'm going to sew 2 blocks at the same time because I don't have any, and then press according to the instructions in the book. And then we'll sew the other side. Okay. And then the pressing instructions are very clear in the book. She has little arrows telling you how to press it, which I think is very helpful for me as a visual learner. I'm very excited about that. So today at the studio, we had some long arming done. We put some tables together. We carried out garbage. I answered so many emails. I had an interview today. That was really interesting. I had to talk about our organization and explain why we could use this support. Then I had to give a presentation to over 360 people on Zoom. It was wild, but it was fun, but it was wild. So now that our three parts are sewn together, you're going to press them according to the book, and it's towards the yellow, okay? So you can see here they're pressed. I just finger pressed them. I didn't use the iron or anything. And then it tells you how to trim it. So I'm going to do that now and make sure that my block is the right size, which it is. There is a little bit that I can cut off. I could have left it, but since I measured it, I'll cut it off. Love the quilt on your design wall. You must be seeing this one. This is half, 3 rows of 9. And it was 2 jelly rolls. It was super fun. All right, so now we're done with this center piece. Okay, we're done with that. And we're going to start our next section. You're going to take, oh no, sorry, I apologize. Now you're going to take this and we're going to snowball it. So you're going to take your E squares, they should be a square, and we're going to stick them in the corner. And they're not going to reach all the way to the bottom, but one's going to go in the upper left corner and one's going to go in the lower right corner. You're going to draw your line and you're going according to the pattern and you're going to stitch on that line. I'm doing that right now. And you can stick both of your E squares, E as in elephant squares. You can put both of them on before you trim. So that's the nice part. If you don't have to trim the frets, you can actually get both of them on. Now I'm sewing 2 blocks at the same time. Just not to confuse anyone, but so that I can have leaders and enders. Because I don't have anything else to sew right now. And I just find that I make less mistakes. I'm hoping that I'll make less mistakes doing it this way. Okay. So you didn't have to trim it before you put the snowball corners on or the stitch and flip corners. You could have sewn it or squared it up after because you're going to have to check it anyways again to make sure that your stitch and flipped corners are correct. So one's going to be in the upper left and one's going to be in the lower right. That's your E square. It's the only square. Everything else is rectangles. And then we're going to press them according to the directions in the book. Okay. So we're going to come over here to the iron. We're going to set our seams. And we're going to roll them back, roll them to the corner. And then we're going to trim it and make sure that they're nice and flat. Okay, we want them nice and flat. I don't think this is turning because there we go. All right. There we go. Okay, so there it is. Now we're going to check it again to make sure that it's the size we need. Because even though all we did was put it on the corner, if you're like me, it might not be put on perfectly. Because, I'm not perfect. I'm just striving to be as accurate as possible, and that's where trimming comes in handy. All right, so that looks super great, doesn't it? I think that's the center of our rows. So now we need to make the other 2 units that go with our rows. This is on the next page. So you should be, if you have the book, you should be on page 42. So now what we're going to do is from your D fabric, which is the same as your E fabric, if you get confused. So what we snowballed with, that's the fabric. You're going to put that down. You're going to take your B fabric you're going to kind of make it look like this. And you're going to stitch on that line from corner to corner. Okay, and we're going to do that 2 times. So put it through the machine, stitch on the line, and then we're going to do it again. Because we do need 2 of these per rose. And you have to make 12 roses. It says to make 6 dark and 6 light. You can choose to do it however you want. I chose to make 12 different colored roses, which maybe is a little crazy, but I think it's going to be really fun. I really think it's going to look great. So let's do this again. So again, take your D fabric and your B fabric, line them up, kind of make, I don't even know what that is, like a 90-degree angle thing, and then stitch on the line from corner to corner according to the diagram in the book. And her diagrams are really easy to follow. Right? Those are the way. Okay, so let's. These ones I'm going to cut off because I hadn't done that before. That's the center of my other block. Then these are my little standards for the cutting ones. These just need to be pressed. So let's go over here. And I have some surprises to show you after. But for now, we need to press. Oh, I forgot to cut these. I did forget. I was going to cut them, and then I was like, you just have to press them. We do have to trim off that extra. I apologize. This thing has a mind of its own today. Okay. So cutting that off about a 1/4 inch. You could use rotary cutter if you want in a ruler. I'm just cutting it. I think I will grab scrap. It's too big. It's too big. Just to make it easier on myself. I do need like a leader. Okay, they'll just make my life a little easier. And get them all done at the same time. All right. That works. A little chaotic here. So then we're going to just roll that back and we're going to square them up because if you're like me, things don't always come out the way that we hope they will, right? We do our best and then we can trim up, which is such a huge saver. Saver? It's a lifesaver. I think it's great when you can square up things and you don't have to rely on your inaccuracies when making blocks. All right, so let's go back over to our mat over here. All right, so now we have all of these little components. So we're going to put them together. I'm just going to move that out of the way. So that one's been trimmed. This one needs to be trimmed. So again, those measurements are in your book. So you do need the book in order to get all of the cutting instructions and her diagram. She does a great job. I would never share a pattern that I thought was too hard or too confusing or just, if I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't share that pattern. That's just a me thing. I don't believe that that we should share things that, we wouldn't do ourselves. And I don't think I would tell you to buy something if I didn't like it myself. That's not me. I'm not that person. So if I tell you something, it's because I've tried it and it works. Because sometimes I've heard people say, oh, I don't even use that. Or I don't even, you're like, well, why do you sell it if you don't use it? Like, hello? I would never do that. I think honesty and being truthful is very important. Okay, so now I'll get a design board just so you can see So here you can see, if you're on YouTube, you can see all of my pieces laid out, but I will get a design board just to make it easier. So this is very weird looking, like this, but we have another step to do once we sew this together. But this is how it looks in the layout. All right, so we're going to just sew it together. Just flip the top, sew it to the middle, flip up the bottom, sew it to the middle. All right, we're going to sew it down. And you have to cut your threads, or if you're like me, you're sewing 2 at a time. Right. Maybe we'll stitch them all. I don't know. We'll see how long it takes. All right. So then I'm just going to finger press it back like so that it's out of the way, but ready for me to sew together again. All right. And watch the placement of your pieces. What I found was this line is this color goes here, like that color, and then that goes under that. And it's just a little bit like that. B fabric needs to be with next to that C fabric because they're the same. Otherwise, they won't be the same. So make sure that you put that this lines up with this and this lines up with this, because otherwise they don't line up at all, and we don't want that. So you can see there that if they don't line up, but you want the fabrics to touch each other, and then you know that you have it going in the right direction. We are almost done here. These are they're not difficult blocks to make. There's just a lot, and that's time. That's where the time-consuming part comes in. Is there's just a lot of. So now we're going to press these. We're not going to trim them, or at least I'm not to trim them. We're going to press these. I'm just off the side of the camera, just pressing my flowers. Okay. So now I have 2 roses. Well, they don't really look like roses. They look kind of like funky blocks. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take some background squares, and we're going to place one in every corner, and we're going to snowball or stitch and flip every corner. So you're going to draw a line or eyeball it or use your diagonal seam tape, whatever works, and you're going to just sew on that line in the corner, and you're going to do that to all 4 corners. So you can see how this block isn't really difficult. It's just a lot of steps to get us to that finish line. That just did not want to go through. So instead of being a sprint, it's more of a, it's not a 100-meter dash. These blocks, they're a little bit more of more like a relay than a sprint. A quick thing. Just got a little bit. I don't know if I have to. Well, I might have to resew that. It got a little bit bunchy there, and I think I'm going to resew that one. Sew it from the other angle. It's because it did get a little bit out of work. All right. So I am sewing 2 at the same time. You don't have to do that. I just find it easier. All right. So we're going to, again, snowball or stitch and flip, I think is what she calls it. Stitch and flip works. And you're going to stitch and flip all those. Just one thing to make sure that you get it right up in the corner and that your fabric is the right way. You want right sides together. With some fabrics, it can be tricky. But if your fabric is clearly one way or the other, make sure it's right sides together. Stitch on that diagonal line from corner to corner. And we're going to get some lovely roses. It'll be great. All right. You're all having a great Wednesday. Like I said, I got lots done today. Well, I spent like 2 hours in meetings, but that's part of my job. And they knew I was very busy and they thanked me for taking the time to chat with them. And it was great to be able to share it. And we had a nice lunch break and staff and the volunteers that were present. And that was nice because I don't get to do that all the time. Sometimes we're all taking lunch at a different time, but today we made sure that we all just kind of connected and took a break at the same time. So now that we've snowballed all 4 corners, you can either take your rotary cutter and a ruler and cut a 1/4 inch away. I'm just going to snip them with scissors. I usually only use scissors if it's a quick snip, like a one snip. I don't have to go snip, snip, because I find I'm not very accurate doing a snip, snip. And then if it's not too, and then I don't keep these ones. I find them too small. Just they'd be ridiculously small, and there's not much you can do with that. So no good for me. I won't be keeping them. Now we'll go press them again according to the directions in the pattern, which is just pressing them out to the corner. So if you're just joining us for the first time, my name is Vanessa Genier, and I am the founder and CEO of Quilts for Survivors. And we're here making the Flower Farm Sampler Quilt, the pattern by Shelley Cavanagh. And you can buy that book. It's a fairly new book. You can buy it from your local quilt shop or an online shop as well. It's a good book. And the pattern is super fun. And you get 18 different blocks. And then we're making the Flower Farm sampler, but there are other blocks in there as well. Speaking of Shelley books, I haven't gotten it yet, so I'll announce it once I get it. All right, we are going to do another sew along starting in January though, so be mindful of that. I will give you once I purchase the book, I will give you an update on that, on what book I'm getting. So now we have to square these to whatever size it says in the book. I might have to get mine. Yes. So we are going to trim this to the size in the book. So what I do normally is I match up my ruler because I have that size. I match it up to these original pieces here, not to the corners. I don't know if I can explain this right, but the lines are on this outer edge here. Because sometimes when you're stitching and flipping, it can get a little wonky, and that's where my guide is. So then I just trim. I almost always have to trim something on every side, and they're not always perfect, but they look pretty good. I have a design block here. So this is the purple flower, the purple rose, the purple rose. Isn't it beautiful? They're gorgeous blocks, just tedious, time consuming. Nothing wrong with that. So again, placing, now if you don't have that square ruler that you need, then any ruler will work as long as it's bigger. You just have to adjust, right? So that you can cut for that particular piece. I was kind of hoping that if I had thought about it, I could have worked a little harder and had this done for the sewing retreat, because it would have been fun to show everyone all of these fun blocks. But win some, you lose some. It's all good. All right. So how are we with those blocks? Are we good? Do we need to make some more? Why don't we? Sure, why not? So I have a bunch. If you're on YouTube, you can see all of my things behind me. I apologize if you're not. I'm limited to what I can do because that camera is charging, unfortunately. Thought I could get it charged before, but the day just got away from me. Okay, so we're going to make some more. So just sit back and relax. We're going to make some more. I may have to get that was the book. We have a comment. I used my 8.5-inch square ruler for the majority just because it's the closest to grab. That's true. Sometimes you're going to use the ruler that's closest to you. I had the I took a bit of time before I came to grab rulers that I needed. And I happen to be blessed with a lot of rulers. A lot. I think I have almost every size. Like, it's crazy because, the kids sometimes are like, Mom, what would you like? And um, I'm like, oh, I don't have, they're like, do you have a ruler? I'm like, I don't have a 4.5-inch ruler. So then they buy me one, or I find some, or I get them in a Sew Sampler box, which I have right next to me, and I haven't opened it yet. But I'll open that after we make a couple of blocks. So let's make two more. Smart things. Sometimes I'm a winner. Let's make one more of these blocks, and then we'll move on to something else. Okay, so now I'm going to do one without any print. These are just colors. So I have my lights and my darks. Okay. Oh, we will. We will. We're going to make one more rose, and then we'll open the Sew Sampler box. Okay, I promise. It's early. I mean, the month isn't over yet, so it'll be a sneak peek if you don't get them. I do still pay for them. Yes, they're getting a little bit more expensive because of the exchange rate and because of the tariffs and stuff like that. But I did do the math, and it's still worth it. I'm still getting more items than what I'm paying for. So I might be paying, I don't exactly know, because the duties when they come to are always slightly different. But I might say I'm paying $60 just to round it off for the box itself with all the shipping and the duty, all that. But inside, the value is always at least $10 or $20 more when you do the exchange rate, and then what's in the box. And I include shipping in my price for the total box, but there's no way to include shipping in the value of the box. So I take off the value. So if the value is $75 minus the shipping, I'm paying $15, getting $15 more than what I'm paying for, including shipping. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how I do it. That's how it works in my brain. Okay. So let's make one more flower block, and then we'll move on to something else. Okay. And you can make the rest of these on your own. I'll probably come back and make some more at a later date. I'm just going to do this. I think I'm going to use the light yellow. I cut up a bunch of different yellows, and I think this paler yellow will be nice. So you're going to take an A, which is the center, and your two C's, and your C's are rectangles, so make sure that you lay them the right way. The other day when I was like figuring out how to make these, I was like, how do I do this? Top is complete. Awesome. I'm getting very excited to finish this. And that's why I'm kind of like, okay, we'll make a little bit of everything, because the other blocks are pretty simplistic in creating them. You just have to make a lot of them. And although I want to make them with you, it might be better if we just make them all, and then you can go back and work on yours as you see fit. I don't know. I don't even know if I want to go out. It's already so late. You just go in the morning and get that stuff before I go into work. Like, I don't have to be at work at a set time. We're not open tomorrow. We're prepping stuff like crazy for the sewing tree. So I have my piece done already, my center. Now you're going to take your E, which is a square, and you're going to snowball the top, like we did before, the upper left. Okay, I'm going to snowball that. You can draw your line, whatever, press your line. I'm using my trusted diagonal seam tape because why not? I should have just did two. Maybe I'll just do another one. Okay, I'm going to do this blue one here. This blue, I think, will be really nice. So it's a light and a dark blue, and I'm going to put this yellow in the center. So I'm just going to start another one, because why not? I only have, I don't know, a few left to sew. Maybe I just won't make it to the store. That's why I was rushing to go to the store. I can go to the store tomorrow. I just want to have everything ready for the gala. Yeah, maybe I'll just maybe open it like a dumb time, like 9:30 or something. Stay up with me. Oh, I might just do that. I might just sew all of these. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay. So again, sew one on, sew the other one on. They're rectangles. They will fit on one side. Hi, Bunny. I had such a big lunch. I didn't even eat dinner yet. So I might have to stop for lunch or something. So what I'm going to do, this is what I'm going to do. We're going to sew a little bit of every block. So 15, 16, 17, 18. Then I'll take a break. Okay, I'm going to do that for YouTube so that they're all on there. Then I will take a break and either come back or call it a night. See how I feel. I'm going to press this. We'll see how I feel. How's that work for you? And if I come and we'll see what time it is and how I feel, I might need a break to go get something to eat or whatever. So we'll see. Okay, so there's my center. Now we're going to square it up the same way we did before. I'm going to sew this other one first, and then we're going to square it up. Because this one also needs to be squared up, okay? All right, so then we're going to do the upper corner, the upper left, and the lower right. Start with the upper left. I don't know why I do that. It just seems to be the way that I do it. Is we start there. Just to scrap through so I don't have to my threads. I don't know if I said this, but all our long arms are working perfectly on at the studio. They're doing so great. One lady quilted 9 quilts yesterday, all free motion, all a decent lap size quilt. She quilted 9 yesterday. 9 from I'm trying to think of what she said. She said she came at I am excited to finish. I know it's crazy, but she has her system where she loads it so that she can do more than one quilt on that one load, and she's very careful with what quilt she picks because she knows how much room she has on her take-up bar, because once your take-up bar is full, you can't put any more on it. You can't. And that was insane. So she did it from 11 till 4, I think. She did 9. Now this is not custom quilting. This is all over edge to edge, simple, basic quilting. The purpose of, long arming is to hold your piece together. And I don't know what she said, sorry. And it's important that, what was I saying? I don't even know what I was saying. But anyways, she knows how to do it. She has her system and it works for her. And it's crazy because she doesn't load it 9 times. I think she's loaded it 3 times or 4 times. Like, she just has her system. I can never pre-plan that all out. She's been long arming for almost a year now, and that's all she does when she comes to the studio. So she has developed a system over weeks and weeks and weeks of long arming. And it's amazing. And she's just a very determined person. Very determined. And I was impressed. I said, that is the most anyone has ever done ever. When some of the other long armers did like 6, I was like, oh, yeah. But she has her system and it works. She is absolutely amazing. I did 1 yesterday. 1. She is very efficient. And she has little waist. And she said by doing it the way she does it, she has even less waist. I was like, just amazing. I think she loads them lengthwise. Like the lengthwise, and then I don't know. I just think it's awesome. I'm very happy and very pleased with our volunteers. We have so many that are just, they come up with these things that are just like, well, wow, that makes it so much easier, or that's more accurate, or whatever it happens to be. So that's always great. So very, very awesome. All right. I'm very blessed, I must say, very excited and blessed. Now, where's my cut of that? So I was looking for it. Okay. So we are having a good time here. Again, making 2 rose blocks. Then we're going to jump to the forget-me-not blocks. And then we'll make one of those. And then we will see where we're at. We'll make some 17 and 18s, which are just leaves. They're just leaves. And the only difference between them, again, is the layout. There actually is nothing different about the block itself. The units that you make to make said block, it's the layout. Because when I was cutting them, I'm like, these look pretty similar. Are they the same? I'm like, oh, they're the same size. So I just cut a pile of green and a pile of background, and that will be for block 17 and 18, which is great. And that's another way to be efficient and to save yourself time and not give yourself a headache, all those great things. Okay. So press. I bet you if I don't take a break, I'll get tired. Like, I won't notice I'm tired. I'm excited because I haven't sewn it all today. I helped put tables together. I did that presentation. I did that interview for some money. I think it's 20 grand. I've never had to do an interview for a grant before. So that was fun. Oh, you're so smart. Yeah, I might just go to the store tomorrow. Heck with it. I don't think I really want to go out again. I know what I need. I know what I need. I have to go to Winners and they have these 2 trees, like evergreen trees in a pot that would look great for our backdrop at the gala. So I'm going to go pick those up. It's the right size. No trimming needed. And then just remember, these are 1/4 of an inch smaller than this. Okay? That tricked me. That tripped me up the other day when I was sewing those blocks. Because I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, no, that's not how it works. And it tripped, kind of was like, oh yeah, these are different size. Okay. So just make a mental note of that. I'm going to trim this one. So again, we have people coming this weekend from all across Canada, from coast to coast. I don't think anyone's coming from way up the coast, like from the Arctic coast or anything, but we have people coming from Vancouver Island. There's a lady coming from Nova Scotia. We have people coming from different parts of Ontario. We have people coming from the States. We have people coming from Quebec. I know we have someone from Quebec. I don't know about any other provinces, but it's very exciting. Like amazing. Absolutely amazing. And then I started these retreats because I wanted to sew with all of our awesome volunteers, but I was like, I can't go everywhere. It'll end up amazing. Oh well. So I am excited that that's happening, that's how it's going. So then again, remember to lay out your pieces. You want your fabrics to touch the little pieces in your block. So that's how you make sure that it's the right way. I always try to find these little things that I can, little check boxes where I can be like, yep, that's how that goes together. And that helps me stay more accurate. Get my blocks made and not have to rip them out because I sewed them together backwards or the wrong way. And I'm just having a good time. So I hope the camera isn't in too weird of a position for you. So I'm just going to finger press it and then take my next block, make sure it's laying the right way, and sewing that one on. So lining everything up. Pushing down. Everything is always a 1/4 inch or a scant 1/4 inch in quilting. Usually it's just a 1/4 inch. So it's pretty consistent that way. I think it's very consistent. And I like that. All right. So there was just a little, my fabric moved funny. How would it sew to there? Let's see. Let's check it out. It was this pink one here. No, I think it's okay. It just, it did sew together weird. I think it's gonna, okay, I'm gonna re-sew this because it just, for some reason, it didn't sew right. So I didn't get a true 1/4 inch. I got like a dip in my thumb. I dipped in, which doesn't need to be ripped out. I just have to re-sew. Hi, Bunny. Yes, I feel you licking me. Okay. So now we're over here. Hey, how's it going? Don't forget to like and share. Someone else might not want to join this craziness. We are making a bunch of blocks for the ask away. Melly? Melly? I hope I said that right. This is why I don't say people's names, because if I don't know it, then I'd say it wrong. Ask your question. I have time to sit and listen. I'm just going to turn this. I'm going to go trim these to the size recommended in the pattern. But you can ask me anything. Doesn't mean I know the answer, but maybe someone else does if I don't. And you can even ask personal questions. I don't really have anything to hide. Okay, my life is not that interesting that I have something to hide. I spend a lot of time sewing. So this is how it looks so far. We do have to snowball all the corners. So square up your block right now. If it's wonky, if it's pretty good, I would just leave it. But if it's a little bit wonky, that one I knew was a little bit wonky. Same. Okay. We are making, in case you're just joining, it's the Flower Farm Sampler. And we're doing block 15 right now. Then we're going to do 16, 17, 18. The reason we're doing all of these is they're all kind of simple. The only thing that's time consuming is that you have to make multiples of them. Okay. So I only have 3 left of these flowers to make. So I'll come back and I'll sew those after. We'll do another. And I promised to open my Sew Sampler box with you. And I haven't even looked in it. So I will show you that. I'll even show it on YouTube here. It is a spoiler alert though, because I don't think it's been revealed yet. She's 11, sorry. I'm not sure what your comment is because you asked a question, then you said same, and then it says she's 11. Sorry. I don't know if there was something else in there. So just let me know if I'm missing something. I know that other people's comments have been censored. You can always private message me if you like, or you can text me. The company's cell phone is on the website, quiltsforsurvivors.ca, and you can text that number. I always have that phone with me, so you can text it. But I wouldn't be able to answer it right now. Perfect. Miigwech. If I can help, I will. Thank you. And I know you can message on here as well. I don't know if those get censored, but I will answer you. Maybe just put your first comment as, hey, we've chatted already. I don't lose my mind. Excuse me, I think I just swallowed some fibers. Ugh. All right. So this is exciting because we are getting so close to being done. I'm sure. Oh, if you've been sewing along and you've been waiting, I am so grateful for you because I waited so that I could teach these with you, do these with you. And I didn't sew. Trust me, if I was doing this on my own, I would have sewn it all. It would be done. Done in probably, I don't know if it would be quilted, but it would be done. I'm having a little bit of a hard time keeping up with all of my quilting needs. Focusing on what, some things need to be done for the studio. And well, I gotta work, I gotta do my job. And maybe next week I'm off. Maybe I'll go in and just quilt for myself. Who knows? I might be too tired to do that. Last year, I think in 4 days or 5 days, we did like 90 hours or 96 hours or something crazy, like 15-hour days. Crazy, but worth it. So, okay. So crazy. But I'm excited. It's done. Okay. Now you're going to take your wonky block, because yours probably looks as wonky as mine. I waited because it's the right thing to do. I feel bad if I finished it without you. Oh, well, thank you. One of the other ladies, she hasn't quilted it, but her quilt is finished and she said it's beautiful. I didn't see, did she show me pictures? No, I don't think she showed me because she didn't want me to feel bad because I waited. But I did make some rose blocks already. That's the only thing I jumped ahead in. And it was because she did say they were a little bit tricky. And I think, Missy, you said they were a little bit tricky. And I was like, okay, I want to make sure I know what I'm doing. Because I don't always know what to do. And I have to follow the pattern and I have to do my best. So life is going very well. So there's the pink one, all finished with lights and darks, very much like the pattern. And then this one here, it's a little short here, but it's not short enough that it'll get lost in the seam allowance. It'll just, when it's sewn together, it's within that seam allowance, so it'll be fine. So there's like the bluey one, bluey purplish one. And I think these are just so cute. Now, I wouldn't want to make a quilt with all of these because they're tiny as hell, but I think they're super cute. I did a few blocks, but didn't finish them all, just some here and there out of the lots of to do. There is, because you have to make 10 of these. And right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, there's 12 of these. Yeah, wait. There's 12. Okay, not 10, 12. I was like, if there's 10, I should be done. I have 3 left to make. So I'll turn the camera here so everyone can see my beautiful. So there's a bunch of my roses over there. And they are super cute. I didn't use any fabric with large prints because I was using, or I am using Roar by Tula Pink. I didn't use any really big, bold prints because when you cut them up, you can't see anything. And 17, I think, is one of the last ones anyways. Yes, 17 is the second last, but it's an 18. They're the same block, but different layout. Okay, so we're going to take a short break. I'm going to turn this over. Again, if you haven't received your soap sampler box from the Fat Quarter Shop, you might want to turn away. I don't know. These are not fabric scissors. They have a little thing on it. It says you can use it for paper, and it says paper. So just FYI, these are the only scissors. And yeah, these are the only scissors. Okay, so I'm going to just rip this box open, throw this away. We don't need that. I don't get any money back with it. I keep it on a little mini heart attack. Funny. It's okay, little one. Okay, so this is my sew sampler. There's the thing, bees and braids. And there's a little bee on it. Isn't that cute? Okay, so let's take a look. So in here, they always have patterns. So they have, I'm just trying to hide this. They have the Socialites is coming out. I've never made the Socialites, but it's coming out next year. And I'm excited to try it out. They have 3 different sizes. I think you get a 3.5-inch block. You can do the 6.5-inch block or the 9, I think is how it works. And I might just use make the tiny ones. Maybe I'll make all 3 sizes in different, who knows. And then there's always a free pattern that uses the same fabric that you get in the box. But if you don't want to make the pattern that comes with the box, they always give you a different idea because not everyone wants to make the same thing. Then you always get one of these interesting little tidbits of information. I know the patterns in there, so I'm not worried about showing that to you. And it tells you the value of it. Now that's American dollars. So I always add them up, convert it to Canadian by whatever the exchange rate is today or the day I bought it or whatever, and see, am I getting the most value for my buck? Because, expensive. Hello. Now let's see what's in here. It fell out of the package. The package totally rips, but it's still in here. So I got a new seam ripper, and it's pink. It's super cute. It's a Clover seam ripper. These are good seam rippers. And the nice thing is that the Sew Sampler, they always give you the latest one of the newer type of seam rippers, and I haven't had to buy a seam ripper in years. Mine seem to get dull, and I seem to get a new one. So that's exciting. I might actually bring that to the studio because I don't have the one I have at the studio is kind of getting a little dull. You can sharpen them with a nail file, someone said, but sometimes it's better to, I find it easier just to get a new one. There's a jelly roll. Oh, it's so pretty. So it's sun drenched, and it's a Moda jelly roll. That's super cute. It's in plastic. You can kind of see the fun colors. I don't know if I would have bought this on my own. Probably not, because I haven't bought a jelly roll in a long time. But it might make a cute quilt. This is Great Starburst jelly braid paper. Ooh, their new triangle jelly braid paper. That's really cool. 5-inch. And you use a jelly roll to make that. Or scraps. Quilt project book. Let's see what this is. Again, not fabric scissors. These are my paper scissors. Just so you're aware. I don't want you to think, oh my God, she's using her scissors. No, my fabric scissors are black. I think they're both black. Yeah, because they're black over there and they're black over here. So let's see. I have another, I think this is a fat corner bundle. So I'll show you that at our next break. Okay, quilt project book. Oh, my project list. You can have a ton. Oh my gosh, I think it does. Holy moly, all the project you can make. And then it's quilt, fabric designer, pattern, quilted by, size, start date, end date, done. Oh wow. So you can just little bits of information. This is probably the most I would ever write anyways. Ah, my favorite scissor black sheep. The suspense, yes. No, this is a whole collection of fabric. Very exciting. So then in here, I feel that there's getting less and less in these boxes. This is September. Oh, this is to make Dutch braids table runner. So you can use that paper and make this braided table runner. And you need, on the back, it always tells you additional things that you will need, like background and border, and then binding, and of course backing. So that's always on the back of the pattern. So you would use this foundation paper, this jelly roll to make this, or you could make the other pattern that they have. And then this is the flowering quilt along block 6. Feeling Freesia block? Freesia? I don't know, it's Freesia. That's interesting. I don't know how I feel about that block, but I will make it. And these finish at 18.5 by 18.5. The braid was fun, but I wasn't a fan of all the waste. I almost cried. It is a lot of waste. And I think with this one, though, I think you cut it a certain size. I think you have to cut them from the 3 strips for the braid. A, B, and C. Let me see. Oh, I think you cut them. Yeah, because you cut it at 2.5, a square, then a rectangle, and then more rectangles. So I think you cut them, so that is better. The braid was, oh, same comment. Okay. So that's what I got in my Sew Sample. I think that things are getting, because fabric is getting more expensive and everything else is, I feel like sometimes they're just getting smaller, smaller and smaller. Everything is expensive these days. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. Definitely less in it. Yes, definitely. And I mean, seam ripper, I have seam rippers, I have jelly rolls. Is it worth it? I don't know. Partly I'm still buying them because I still want to make that. I want to make this whole quilt. I just haven't given up. I'm hoping that they maybe get a little better. But I've been writing. I always send you a survey you can fill out, and I always tell them I feel like you're giving me less. But everything's getting more expensive. Okay, should I open my fabric bundle or should we go Sew Block 16? Someone's got to vote. I'll go with the votes. Anyone? Anyone? No one's on YouTube, but anyone? Yes, of course, open. Okay, I'm just going to, I realize now that I didn't really show. So jelly roll, braided paper, my pattern, the other pattern, and the book. So very cool thing. I apologize. Got so excited just sitting here and chatting away. Okay. All right, let's open this up. I'm going to actually open this up over here so that everyone can see. Can't tease us. Okay, no teasing allowed. All right, let's open this up. Let's do something a little bit different, okay? So this was pre-ordered. I ordered this, I don't know, whenever they announced this bundle of fabric. I know what it is. But I'm excited to see it. I'm very excited. Okay, it's wrapped in plastic. Again, sometimes I still just order because I just wanted that. So this is a fabric bundle. This is I think it's a fat quarter. I don't think it's anything else. It's called Delightfully Yours AB Bundle 18 by 22. I don't know what that means, AB Bundle. AB Bundle. I don't know what that means. But anyways, this is the fabric. It's Delightfully Yours by Sherry and Chelsea. I live vicariously through you for these two things. Oh, thank you. So I'm really excited. So there's lots of, I like that they have lots of low lights or background fabrics, and then their fabric and all of their collections really seem to kind of flow together. And so it's super, super pretty. I don't want to take the bundle apart. So you're just going to have to kind of enjoy it as it is in its cute little bundle. Isn't it pretty? And I still have some strawberry lemonade and I still have some Laguna Sunrise in their fabric as well. So all of those kind of go together and I'm excited to make something with them. Maybe I'll do the social lights with all of their fabric and just have a lot of fun. Cute, cheery, very happy fabrics. Very usually a good mix of small prints and medium prints. Not usually anything too big. I don't buy their 108s mostly because it's expensive and it's hard to find sometimes in Canada and without paying an arm and a leg to get it shipped to you. And I don't know, I just really like it. And I have one of their books and I like that. And it's just exciting. I don't know. I love it. The next bundle the next fabric that's coming. I ordered, it's a Canadian company that I ordered from, but it's the Tula Pink, the basic gray, her new fabric that comes out in October. I have that on order, so I'm excited about that. But I don't think it comes with the new true colors. I think you have to order those separately or something. But I'll get those at some point too. Gotta watch the budget. You know how you budget for fabric? You pay all your bills and whatever's left, you go buy fabric. Even though you already bought some fabric. I don't know. That's what I think. All right, so let's make block 16. So I still have 3 rose blocks to make, but I'm waiting on my Gray Works order too. Oh, yay! I'm so excited. It looks so beautiful. So I'll have to show you that when it comes in. I ordered mine from Madabelle Patchwork because they had a pre-order for it, and I was really, really excited and happy. So we'll see how it goes. I have a text from someone. Susan, I can't remember when I told you we would arrive. We want to explore a little tomorrow. Would it work if we come to the studio 9ish Friday morning to unload car? Yes. Oh, sorry. Yes, for sure. That works. Works. Okay. So that's going to make Friday a very long day. Oh, well, that's okay. I can take a nap on the couch or something. Okay, so let's do block 16. This is the only block we had to cut actual triangles for. So keep that in mind. We did have to cut actual triangles, which is different, but that's okay. All right, so what we're going to do, this is more about the layout than about anything else. So we're doing block 16, the forget-me-nots. There's 4 of them. We'll do one, we'll see how it goes, and then we'll move on, okay? I think I did all my centers the same. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Okay, and Bunny's running around. Are you okay, Bunny? She's not barking. Usually she barks if she needs to go out. So I'm thinking she's okay. Okay, I'll let her out in a little bit. So you're going to take your block, your center, okay? Now you have D and C. I think C is larger than D. So D goes in the corners. So this actually goes on its side. So D goes in the corner and in the corner. Nope, that's not a D. These are the smaller ones. D's triangle in the corners. All four corners, put a D. I'm using a design board because I don't know how else to put it together. I don't know how else I would do it without losing my mind. Okay? Then you take your A. A goes around the center. I should have used a bigger design board. Okay, I'm going to get a bigger one because this is too confusing. And if I'm confused, you're going to be confused. Okay. So again, take your center block, place it in the center. Place your four, these are A fabrics. B is the center. A fabrics around your B. Then you're going to place your D in all four corners. Right next to your A. These other, okay. And then your fill-in blocks. It's too small. Even though these are only, they're unfinished at 4.5, they're very tiny. Now you're going to take your C's and you're going to put them a certain way here. You're going to go like that. Watch your diagram for how to put these together because we're going to sew rows together. Then we're going to sew our entire piece together, which is crazy, crazy. Okay. I should have told her. If we go through Sudbury, what is the quilt shop name? Have been to a quilt shop in a week. I think there's 4 shops in Sudbury. I'm not exactly sure. And I don't remember their names. You would have to Google it. And can we make it 10 o'clock Friday? Please and thank you. It's going to be a long day either way, but at least it's an extra hour to kind of get out, and I don't have to be there like at 8:30 just to make sure that I'm there on, leave the house on time. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to now, these are sewn on after these two, but you're going to sew rows of 3 or 4 or 5 or how are those sewn on? Okay, you're going to sew these rows together, okay? It's a little confusing, but I think if we lay it out and we just take our time, we're going to be okay. So let's start. What we're going to do is we're going to sew this A to C. So it's going to connect. You're going to watch this is the point of this is the long part of your triangle. This is the little point. You're going to put it at 90 degrees and we're going to sew on this side. Okay? It's a little confusing, but watch the diagram. It's really clear, okay? You're going to have a little bit of an overhang, but that's okay. Don't worry about that. Just take it one small stitch at a time. Okay, she read it. Let's see if she answers it. Okay, so that's the first row. So I took the triangle and the A block. Now I'm going to take this D, and I'm going to center this in the middle. What you can do is, if you want, is you can fold your block in half to mark the middle, okay? Fold it in half to mark the middle. Fold your triangle in half and mark the middle, okay? And then open it up and take that middle and this middle and put them together and then stitch it, okay? All right, so now I'm chain piecing this, okay? I think there's enough power on that thing. All right, now that's the second row. Then the third row, we're going to do exactly what we did at the top. We're going to stitch this. Okay. Okay. I just gotta lift up my chair. My chair is. I've been saying I need a new chair, but I either don't want to spend the cash or I just haven't found one. A little bit of both, I think. So watch the pressing instructions. Oh, press away. Watch the pressing instructions according to the book. I'm really excited to get this getting so close to that end mark. These, okay, just follow, because some of the blocks you're pressing to the right, some you're pressing to the left, so be mindful of that. So I'm really watching the book for my pressing, okay? It's looking pretty good. Excuse me. Okay, so then that goes like, yep, okay. Then, so now I have these pieces together, okay? I think you can see that. I have these 3 pieces together, and now I'm going to add the next pieces. This one is the longest row, so that'll take a little bit more time, but we'll just keep going. Okay? So there was no unit. Okay. And we did have to cut triangles, which isn't the worst case scenario. If you find that your triangles are a little wonky or not sitting together nice for you, just make them a little bit bigger, just a little bit. Just make them a little bit larger. Okay. Okay. Oops, there's mine. A little scrap. I'm sewing. Okay, so again, watching the pressing instructions in the book so that we don't make, so that it goes together. She's done all the work. I say she because the pattern was written by a lady. She's done all the work, so all we have to do is just trust her, right? I think so. I think we just have to trust the process. Okay. I don't have to get up and iron. My iron's right there, which, in my opinion, is the best thing you can do for yourself. Get a little, that's the second part of that. Get a little table or something that you can put a little ironing mat on, or a little ironing board beside you or something, because it saves so much time if you can do that. So now we have these two dorky little things, one at the top and one at the bottom, and they look kind of dorky. They look kind of weird. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut off those dog ears. So I'm going to line up my ruler along that block and just cut off those dog ears. I don't need them. They're just going to be extra bulk. Then I can take that small little D fabric triangle, and I can stick it there. And you can, again, press the middles if you want, find the middle and line it up. Eyeballing it works as well. I'm going to do that. This one is pressed this way. I'm just going to press this one now. Finger pressing works too because they're not very big pieces. Okay, we have that so far for the middle row. Again, this is one of either the top or the bottom, and then you're going to, I just line it up along that block, and then I'm going to cut those pieces off. And I'm going to take my fabric. So like I said, if you want to, you can press to find the middle of your block too, right? And then press your triangle to find the middle of that. And then you can just put those together, and then you know that it's centered. Okay? And then lining this up as well. That other D block on the end of this longer row. Okay? Shift it a little bit on me. Okay. So there we go. All right. I'm going to press that. I'm going to press everything. You should be able to unplug that camera soon. It might not be dead. I just feel like it's in the most awkward spot. But I only have 2 outlets in my whole space here. So I have to make do with what I have. Because I only have 2 outlets. So I apologize. So there is that center piece. And then I have 2 weird. We end up with 2 odd triangle pieces. So you're going to lay it out again, put your top on, and put your top on. Now this, if you're concerned that your block might not go together quite right, you're going to want to line up this seam with this seam and this seam with this seam. You can pin it. This is a good time to use a pin, should you be a pinner. This is a great time to stick that pin in there. I'm going to cut off this little nub here from my triangle in the middle. I'm going to cut that nub off. Actually, I'm going to cut the knob off of all the sides. Okay. And I'm going to sew all the way down. Okay. And we'll cut off. Some of these knobs will get cut off as we thread. 1/4 inch. And I'm making sure that those center units are lining up. Okay. That the B center is lining up. So that is clean. And I sewed right across. So I'm going to do that again. We're going to make some more of these. You're going for to make. If you make them all, then you don't have to feel bad about leaving them. And then we're going to press it. I'm just going to finger press it for now. Press it down. Now I have my pieces. So I made sure that these were pressed correctly according to the instructions, and I pressed them down. I made sure I nested them and I pressed it. So it's very nice. Now, I did cut off the little nubs or the extra pieces on those triangles. I didn't trim here. I didn't cut these ones. I think they'll come off when we square up our block. So again, focusing on the squares, making sure that those seams nest. You could plop a pin in there if you like, if you feel like you need it. I do better by not pinning. But everyone has their own way of doing things. I own pins, I just don't use them. If I'm really concerned, like if those were not going together right, I might have pinned it. But they seem to be going together really well. Okay, so there's my block. There is the block, and it's called a forget-me-not. Forget-me-not, sorry. Not, yeah, so I'm just over here at the iron, pressing it down, trying to get it nice and flat. And it's just going to lay the way it's going to lay. So this is what it looks like before it's trimmed. It's kind of funky looking. It's not really very pretty. The colors are pretty though. I'm pleased with the colors. Here I did use some prints that had some bigger prints on them. So I did like the dinosaur eggs. They can be kind of big. So now what I'm doing is I am looking for the center of this block. And because the one benefit of having this is 4.5. The one benefit of having a 4.5 inch ruler, at least at Creative, most rulers, maybe, I don't know, do they all have that? No, they do not. Okay, Creative Grids has a center line, and if your block is that size, then you just have to line up that center line on all of your centers. So all 4 of my corners of my center block, I lined up, and then I can carefully trim around it. I can rotate it. My rotating mat is finished, and it's really small. It's not a very big rotating mat. It came in a Sew Sample box. All right, so now I have a beautiful block. That's all done. Now we have to make 4 of these for this quilt. So let's make another one. Again, I don't know if I'm going to make all the blocks tonight, but we'll see. It's already getting close to 7 here. So we'll see how it goes. We'll make another one though. Aren't they pretty though? I think they're so great. And what these little smaller blocks are, like the roses, like this forget-me-nots, and the leaves that we're going to make later, what they do is they're little fillers for the quilt. They're fun little fillers. I'll stick them back here. And they help fill in gaps within the quilt as you make the quilt together. This is not a quilt that you sew rows together. This is a quilt where you do a chunk, and it eventually becomes a row. Yes, you can do it. Thanks. I love your confidence in me, Missy. That's great. So let's do this again. Again, I'm going to really rely on my design boards. If you don't have a design board, you can use a smaller mat. You can use a tray, something, a piece of maybe a bolt from the inner a piece of book. What else could you use? A big ruler. If you have a large ruler, like a 12.5-inch ruler, you could stick your blocks on the ruler and it would help you lay them out. So there's lots of different ways. You can just lay them out on your mat if you want. The design board works good for me because I can pick it up and show you. And I love my design. Cardboard, any kind of cardboard, yeah, would work. Make sure you get like a sturdier cardboard than just a flimsy one, but all of those things definitely work. So now we're going to do another block on point, stick it on point because it's easier to get it to do that angle thing that we needed to do. Grab your 4 A squares and put them around on all 4 sides of this block. Then you're going to put your larger triangles in the corners. Oops, I think I have 2 there. Yep. 2, and I have to go down and get a snack, like I said. But we had a really good lunch, so. Then you're gonna put your D's on all the corners, right? Yes, all 4 corners. So 4 D's and 4 C's. We are getting there. Okay, so there's that block with that material. I'm gonna make another one because I have a couple of design boards. So why not just make all of these at the same time? So some of these design boards I bought and I've had for a while, and some of them were given to me. And I am not going to turn away a design board. Ever. I love them. I don't want to make them myself. I don't have time for that. I made one. I have made them. I don't like making them. I don't like it. They don't come out as nice. For me, I have some that someone gave me that are made as well, and they're beautiful. But I'm like, meh, it's not my thing. I tried. I could make them and get really good at it and sell them or something, but who wants to do that? I don't. I don't really want to do that. You're supposed to do things that bring you joy. Those didn't really bring me joy. They were too blah. Not really my thing. But it would be a cool thing to have a bunch of design boards and just sell them or whatever. Yeah, no thanks. Not interested today or really any day. Oh, that's backwards. Okay. Well, I know I don't want to go shopping. I know I don't feel like going back out today. So I'm wearing a new top. I don't know if you noticed. I kind of like it and kind of reminded me of a patchwork, like a quilt. And I didn't have to make it. I just bought it. So I was happy about that. So super fun. Okay, so these are block 16. I am done with the tray. I won't need that anymore. So we'll put that away. All right. I'm chain piecing them now. Fingers crossed I don't muck up. Me too. Me too. So I think that's what we're going to do going forward. We're going to make one a little slower. Then we're just going to full speed ahead. Let's get these suckers done. All right. 1/4 inch seam. We're just going to keep going. They're all laid out. We're going to keep going. I am not sewing. I won't start a second one until this one is complete or I have nothing left. Chain piece rip. So get rid of this. I don't need this. Get rid of that. Okay, now this one. So now open it, press it. Forget which way to press it. Press it that way. Then take the next one and we're going to sew it. Oh, wait, I had that wrong. Sew it this way. I had it a little bit backwards. I have to change the direction of my triangle. So note to self, keep an eye out for where your triangle is going. Okay. And these are small. You can finger press everything. You don't have to press it all. I would press it before I trimmed it down. would trim a block if I didn't press it with iron. Just because no heat is not always a good thing. Okay, so then C goes here, pointing towards there. Okay, making sure that point is going in the right corner of the top. There we go. Now this is done. This top part is complete. So we're going to trim off the little doohickeys here. We're going to take this. We're going to press. Beautiful, beautiful. Take that D, put it, line it up so that you have equal on both sides, or find the center. I feel pretty confident about my ability to find the center with that small piece. Okay, now we need to sew this piece to this. This one, I'm going to press both of these pieces, the top and the bottom. There we go. So this one is done. This one is almost done. Oh, it's looking so great. Oh, I should cut these off. Just for bulk. You can cut them with, I did last time with the rotary cutter and a ruler. You can do that, or you can just snip them with scissors. It's up to you. Again, don't forget, if you're a pinner, pin these. Let people, don't worry about anything else. If you want to pin it, pin it. Pinning is perfectly fine. I shall sew this one on, then I'll press the whole thing. Okay, so we're going to press it like that. So we're making these beautiful forget-me-nots. We're going to make 4 of them. There's the bottom. So I have the top and the bottom, and this row is done as well, but it's still in line. So I'm going to start with the next block, sewing pieces together. So that it goes a little faster. Now I might be sewing a little too fast for you. That's, you sew at your speed. I'm going to just sew the way I sew. I've shown you how to make the block, so you have that knowledge, and then you can go ahead and make your block. I'm going to just sew how I normally sew. But I'll stick around so that we can sew together. So remember this, when you join these two together, you just want to make sure that you've nested them and that you've lined them up right. Everything else gets trimmed away so it's perfect fit. When you trim it to that size and it comes out to that size, that is, oh, that's such a good feeling. Okay. So this is for the other block and the other. This one to both go the same way. Yeah. Okay. Actually, it goes like that. Okay. This piece. So that piece. This piece gets this one added. So I am just sewing along. I have parts of 2 different blocks under the needle here. And I can just finger press this because I'm not actually so much that. Press it all together. Again, watching that those squares are working together. I don't want that part to be wonky. I want it to work. Making sure there's no pleats or creases or tucks or folds. You want everything to just line up. Take a minute to double check to make sure things are nesting. So all of my other blocks are made from 1 to, we started at 15, 1 1 to 15. So 1 to 14 are already made. All of my blocks are sewn together. Every single one of them. So I am not in any way behind. All of my blocks are done. We are sewing 15. So most of 15, I have 3 left to make. We are sewing 14. 16, we're going to sew all 4 of them. There's only 4. And then we have 17 and 18. And I will make some 17s and some 18, and then we'll see where I'm at. We'll have to see just how I feel. I have had some issues with my health. I don't want to risk it. And I have a super busy weekend, like 15-hour days or something crazy. So, because as the founder, you kind of have to be the first person there and the last person to leave. I'm not always the first person there, though. Sometimes I think I was, because I'm also in the drumming. Like, I also do the drumming. So there'll be some traditional drumming. Again, you have to join the virtual retreat. We don't have, it's not going to be, I'm not going to live stream on TikTok all day. At least that's not the plan. I mean, I could possibly come on a little bit. So there's my second Forget Me Not. Super cute. So I'm going to add that. There is one little, which is, okay. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. I put the same center in all of them. That was something that I wanted to do, was put the same center in all of them. So just finger pressing those, according to the directions in the book, because that really helps. Her pressing is awesome. Her instructions for pressing are great. When she says press open, I just press to get on it. That's the only thing I don't do is I don't press open. I choose not to. And that is my choice. And it's a good choice, in my opinion. This is not lining up right. There we go. All right. So again, that is, a personal choice, but it works for me. And usually in that case, I just press it the way that the fabric wishes to go. Right? So we are on block 16 of the Flower Farm sampler block. All right, thank you for joining. We did some 15s already. You can see some of them behind me there. Actually, there's a big pile right there. If you're on YouTube, if you're on TikTok, sorry, I can't see it. Actually, I can probably unplug this thing. It's not fully charged, but I think it has enough on it, and I can stick you here, and then you can see all those fun, happy blocks behind me. All right, so if it starts dying, I'll just watch it. No, it's fully charged. Okay, if it starts dying, I'll fix it. The computer is plugged in, so it won't die. All right, so let's take all of. Let's sew something. One of these needs. Okay, this needs to be pressed. Press that sucker. Cut off those little flaps, dog ears, whatever you want to call them. Kind of feel bad saying dog ears because then it makes me think of Bunny. And I can cut Bunny's ears off. We had a Jack Russell that we got. We took from someone else. She was older. She was 1. She was like way older. She said she wasn't fixed. She was fixed because she never went into heat. She never nothing. So I was like, I don't think this person knew their dog very well. But anyways, she had her tail chopped off. Like they do for some of those dogs. I was kind of like, oh. I mean, yeah, it was just a little nub of a tail. It's like that. So, yeah, I don't usually call them dog ear. Well, I guess that's a tail, but not dog ears. I think that's just unnecessary. I guess they look cuter. What do I? Okay, so this now is ready to be put together. So again, watching when you take them that they nest here in the center. because that would be very noticeable. If those were a little bit off, it would be more noticeable. Not that it really matters, but it would be more noticeable than um, other parts of the world. Because you can kind of tell that they kind of need to be blended together. Okay. How we sew these together doesn't really matter as long as you get all the pieces in the right order, in the right row, so you can put your block together. But there's no need to really stick them together. What doing, Mom? I'm just gonna stay home. I'm a little too tired to go to the store. Do you know what time it opens in the morning? Okay. I think it opens at 9:30, which is kind of late. I might just go tomorrow sometime. We just take a break halfway through the day or something. I didn't cut off that nub there. Oh well. So lining it up. That's I was like, that is not nesting. Why is it not nesting? So yay. Okay. I hope I should have said I'm still teaching my class. I'm still teaching my class. Or my sew along, I guess. Class sew along doesn't matter. It's easier to just tell people it's a class. So they know that you're like busy teaching. Yeah, and this isn't like the only class I teach. I teach in a couple of classes. Actually, tonight was intro sewing and nobody showed up. And some people ask us to have it at night. Damn. That's my daughter, but also our studio manager. She's still at work. They're crazy. I guess Ken must have went home. But they did come in later because they weren't feeling very good. They had to kind of sleep off the headache that they got. They had a tooth pulled yesterday. And I've never had a tooth pulled, so I don't know how it feels. I have nothing to compare to, but they needed to kind of rest from that, recuperate, I guess. So now you're going to take your ruler, in my case, my ruler, and then I square it up. I hope you guys can see well. I know you can't see when I go over to the iron exactly, but ironing is ironing. I try to get as flat as I can. That's my main goal. I mean, if it decides it wants to go right and it's supposed to go left, well, whatever, I guess. This is actually a really, really fun block. So I'm just going to make sure everything fits in there. Now, sometimes my block is not perfectly 4.5 inches. It's a slight, just a very, very minimal difference, right? There's a minimal on one side. I can get it in the seam allowance and no one will ever know. So you just make a note and you learn how to work with that when it's not quite full. It's not quite the size you need. So there's another one. Think you can see some of those on there? Maybe you can't. I think you can. Can you see them? You can't really see them. There you go. Look at all those beautiful blocks. So there's 14 and 5th, no, 13, 14. Maybe there's even 12 up there. Because there's that other block. I don't know. Anyways, there's some up there. Then there's the little forget-me-nots. Then the roses are over there. So you can kind of see those are all the small blocks. I was hoping to have this other quilt off the design wall and have all the blocks up, kind of, but they're huge. It's going to take 2 design walls. This quilt is 96 by 108. It's massive. It's going to be hard to get it all. Okay, let's get back to what we were doing. Okay, I have one more block to sew together. I have different pieces all over the place. All right. I wonder if she was looking for a ride. She didn't ask for a ride. So if she wanted a ride, she should ask. I'm not going to offer because I really don't want to go out. I have to let the dog out. Okay, when we're done this one, I'm going to go let the dog out. I'm not going to turn off the camera. I'll just let it run. They'll be you can stare at all the blocks at the back. You can catch up on whatever you're doing. And then we'll come back and we'll do 17 and 18. The reason that we're doing all these blocks together is some of you have written in and said, hey, let's get this finished. And I really want to get this finished. I'd like to do something else in October. I don't know what, but something else. We'll sew it up together. That will be in October as well. But let's get this. Let's work on getting this done. What? Just a second. What's the pattern name? Flower Farm Sampler by Shelley Cavanagh, and you have to buy the book. And it's not, you get 18 different blocks. You can see there's those heart blocks in the camper aren't included, but you can see there's a ton of different blocks, and you have to make a lot of them are 2, then they jumped to 3, then they jumped to 12, then 4, then 10, and then 4. So there's sometimes you just make the same block over and over and over. So tonight, I figured let's just get it done. You know, enough. She's either barking at something or she needs to pee. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna let her out. I'll wait for her and I'll be right back. Can you show the front of the book? Yes. There's the front. Take a screenshot or something. I will be back. Just ask questions. There's a lot of people on here who know me well and they can answer them. Laura, Missy, I'm leaving you in charge. I'll be back. Check out all my blog. I'll move the chair. I gotta let the dog in. I'll be back. Me witch. Okay, okay. Okay. She's gone. I've gone. Everything is okay in the world. I closed all the curtains down there. And I'm back. All right. Oh, it's the Missy and Laura show. Thanks, guys. And not the Missy part, anyways. I'm behind on the sew along. I'm cooking dinner right now. I may have cheated a little bit. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna have a reheated deep fried pickle. These are from yesterday. They're still good though. They're so good. You don't have to excuse me while I eat a pickle. Who's in here? Oh, you were over there. Must be one of the cats. I didn't know you were here. You want to come say hi? Okay. Come here. No? Come here. You don't want to say hi? Okay, you go play. Bunny doesn't want to come say hi. She's kind of a nut. Kind of a nut. They are good. I really like deep fried pickles. And most of my kids think I'm weird because I like deep fried pickles. What? I'm not eating them anymore. I'm not giving you any anyways. No. Doesn't matter how sweet you look when you look at me. All right, so we're back. We are sewing, and I guess if you were on YouTube, you would have just seen a blank screen. I apologize. See all the beautiful blocks behind me, though. I'm not saying they're beautiful because I made them, although they are, and I did. I'm saying they're beautiful because they are beautiful blocks, and I could see them in a quilt. Not the forget-me-nots that we're doing now, but a lot of them, just those smaller blocks would make a beautiful quilt. And I love stars. Stars and feathers. Actually, I don't think there's anything that I don't really like. Not really. So you love pickles, my family all love them. Oh, that's awesome. I think it's just me and my mom. Well, actually, I've never eaten them. I was at this one place and they did chips, pickled chips. Very similar coating, but it was little individual chips, and that was really good. That was really good. So lots of yum to be had out there in the world. These were really good though. I really enjoyed them. Okay, so trim and trim. I'm gonna trim off all those little nuts that I don't like. And then unless your fabric is somehow directional, which I hope you didn't pick directional fabric, these end pieces can go on either side. And I purposely try to avoid directional fabric at all costs unless I know that I can get it right or I don't care. Have you ever made a Lone Star quilt with a jelly roll? I kid you not, I've done it. It's very cool. It's a little more scrappy, but it's very cool. But I think you could plan it so that the colors line up better. I have directional words in one block only, and it's all backwards and upside down. And if it doesn't bother you, then I wouldn't even worry about it. If it bothers you, well, I guess I don't know. I guess you just have to deal with it. You have to, what can you deal with? I've done some fabrics, the words are all over too. They're not in a straight line, they're all mixed up and messy. So I like those kind of fabrics. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Okay. So we are lining these up and getting things done. I haven't been on for a couple of days. I'm busy. I'm super busy and I'm tired. I get home from work and I ignore it. There you go. And I am pooped. I was so tired. And I've been working a little bit longer hours. One, I don't have Wallace and Joe. They're at their dad's. And two, where's my There's a lot to do with the sewing retreat. So, I mean, it would be ideal if they were, I don't know. I dislike directional too. I'd like rinse to some extent, but it has to be, I have to just be like, I don't care about it because it's too confusing. Um, this is definitely my busiest month ever is this month, September. Not, school starting. We have our sewing retreat this year. We also have the gala. The kids start school. You're planning for, Halloween. Someone has a birthday. Like my son has a birthday. Um, you're also starting to plan for Thanksgiving and Halloween. November's kind of boring because after Halloween, I have like a month till my next son's birthday. So November's not too busy for us anyways. And yeah, it's just this month is very busy because of the sewing retreat. But I wouldn't change it for anything other than I told the board we're not planning 2 events anymore in the same month. That's too hard. But it was because Phyllis was coming and that was really important. There's no water left in that iron. We have to put some water. Okay, so we didn't get all our number, maybe you did. I didn't get all my number 15s done. I have 3 more rose blocks to make. 1, 2, 3. But I did get all of my 16. There's only 4. So that was easy to do. There was only 4 of them. So that was easy to do. And they were pretty simple, other than just the weirdness of the layout. But I think for me, laying them out on the design board really, really helped. And I liked that. I thought she would have messaged me back. Okay, everybody's okay. So I'm really pumped about that because they look so friggin' cute. Aren't they the cutest? They're called forget-me-nots. And it's N-O-T-S, knots, forget-me-nots. So they're very cute. Now, I would never make a quilt with this. I don't think maybe a table runner. Or I want to make a ribbon skirt with a bunch of different blocks. It might be some cute blocks to throw in there. Kind of scatter throughout the skirt. Because what I'm thinking is making like a quilt, like a odd shaped quilt, like I don't want to say a panel, but making like fabric and then cutting the fabric and turning it into a quilt. Does that make sense? Like instead of using a yardage to make the skirt, we use, I don't know, a meter and a half, I think, to make a skirt. Instead of doing that, have it all 1.5 of just blocks, patchwork blocks, and then making a quilt and then sewing the ribbons on it as I see fit. Maybe from the bottom, maybe having different, you could plan out where your ribbons are going to go and have just strips of fabric there and have the ribbons on it. Anyways, I would really like to get to that point, but I'm not really very good at making the ribbon skirts, even though they're just a simple A-line skirt. I have to get a little better, I think. Someone's making me a skirt right now, and I'm pretty excited about that. You have a big imagination. Oh, I do. But I've been thinking about this for a couple of years, I think. Like I don't always act on all these wonderful thoughts that I have. But as I make things, I'm like, I could do this. And being, working at Quilts for Survivors, we offer ribbon making classes with other organizations and we offer different things. So I'm always able to share my ideas somewhere. Okay, now we're going to, I don't know if you're done, but I'm assuming you would be done because I ran away to let the dog out, who is now gone to sleep. Okay. My shirt does look like a quilt, but I bought it like this. Like, it's just fabric. It's cheap print, but I bought it. I don't make it. I don't make clothes. So this is what we're doing. Flower Farm sampler. Okay. We need to do block 17 and 18. Now, here's my cutouts for 17 and 18. Now, if you don't have the book and you haven't looked at these blocks, you probably have no idea. What do you mean? Those are your blocks. These are my blocks. Okay. So what we're going to do is if you look, I'm going to kind of cover up some of her instructions. If you look at this block here, oh, wait, this way. See this little unit? There's 4 of them in there. They're all the same. They're all made exactly the same. Different fabrics, but they're all made the same. Now, if we go over to block 18, look at these blocks. The units are exactly what they are on the other side, just a different layout. So I think these will be really easy to make. And when I was getting ready to cut them, I looked and I realized that they're the same size. The greens are the same size and the backgrounds are the same size. So what I did was I just cut a bunch of green and cut a bunch of background. And I kept the backgrounds together because some are a white, some are a cream, and some are this polka dot. And I just cut a whole whack of them. Do I have enough? I have no idea. But I'll make sure that I have enough for said block. I don't think I care if the block has different backgrounds in it. I think it's fine. And I don't care if the block has, like this block here, if it has, sorry, let me cover that. If this block has 4 different colors in it, I think it'll still look great. And then if this block, they have them kind of in sets where it's 2 together, I might try to do that, but who knows? It will look marvelous. Yes, I think so. So I'm not worried about that. There's things that sometimes you need to be like, no, it needs to be a certain way. This is, to me, this is not one of these times. These are leaves. If you go look at a tree or a bush or something that's dying, like our tobacco grew very well, but the first year you don't harvest it, the leaves are all looking different now. Some of them have turned darker than others. There was frost a couple days ago. I mean, it was 25 today or something. There was frost a couple days ago, and my potato plants are gone. I forgot my potatoes. Oh, damn, at the studio. Oh, well, I'll get them tomorrow, I guess. Okay, so let's just start. So you're going to take one of these green squares. We're going to do 2 at a time. These are 2 different colors. We're going to take them. Now you're going to grab a background. I'm going to start with these white backgrounds, these very flake whites, and you're going to snowball 2 corners, or stitch and flip, however you want to call them. And that's it. That's it. Okay, so we're going to do, let's do, actually, let's do 6 of these. That's the same color. I'm going to do 2 like that. Okay, those are the same colors. Oh, see, these are not even pieces. They're just stone. I'll grab these 2. Okay, so you're going to snowball all these. I have 6 of them, I think. Okay, let's just start snowballing them. Okay, I'm going to chain piece the whole lot. And I don't have to press and trim them before I sew the other one on because they're opposite corners. Unless you're crazy, no, just kidding. Unless you have directional fabric, you don't have to worry about anything. I used solids mostly. I don't think I have a tone on tone. I have some stripes, but I don't care about those. I think it's just the one stripe, and the rest are just greens, just solids, which are fun. And I don't have any tone on tones. This green has salvage on it. Okay, I don't know if I need this green, so I'm not going to use it because it has salvage on it. I'm getting dark green though. I guess when I cut it, I didn't cut all the salvage off. I'll just grab a different one. Whenever I hum, I think of my grandmother Helen, and my machine's named after her. She always hummed. She was really nice. I really liked her. I was talking to one of my mom's cousins, and my grandmother was her aunt, and she said she liked her too. And I was like, oh, most of my cousins don't like it. But I her seemed glossy. I didn't care. I was like, oh well. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut some of those off. I'm gonna cut them apart. I guess I could have used my purple thing. And then I'm going to sew on the other corner. So you're just snowballing. So you're going to trim and then press it back, and it's going to cover that corner. I've never snowballed so many corners in a quilt before. I know, right? But they make such cute little blocks, or stitch and flip, or whatever you want to call it. I think they're super cute. And I'm pretty happy with them. I think they're gonna be super cute. But yes, it is a lot of stitch and flipping, flip and stitching. I'm gonna flip out here soon. I did a joke today, and the kids were like, "That is so not funny. That's not even a funny joke." And I was like, "Oh, I thought it was kind of." I can't remember what I said, but and then I texted my mom and I said, "Does Dad have any screws? Like screws? I need a couple of screws for something." And she's like, "He says the only screws he has are in his head. This is on the wrong way." And I was like, "Oh my God." And then my daughter was like, "That's so funny." That was Cat. So for those of you that don't know, or kind of like, you talk about your kids, and we're kind of in the same sense. So I have two staff members. I had up to six at one time. There was six of us. We had some employment and training. We had some staff that way through summer students and other ways. And it just so happens that my children qualified for this funding. So my staff, my current staff, are two of my children, which, they work well. We work well together, and they can't get away with anything. I know them. I totally know. And they can't be like, "Oh, I'm skipping." They can't skip work and say they're sick because I know what they're up to. So in some ways, I don't think it helps to work for your parent. But we have a lot of fun. But sometimes it means that if we have a family function, there's no staff, so the studio's closed. But it seems to be okay. So now I'm going to cut all of these wonderful pieces, and we're going to show you, we're going to make some more. Don't panic. We're going to make a whole bunch more because we need to make 10 X blocks, and we're going to need to make, I think it's only 4. Yeah, 4 of the, no shortage of them. No, we're going to make a lot more. And then if we have time, we might go back and make some of those rose blocks. I will stop the YouTube video just because it's going to get long, and it's going to get really long, really boring, I think. At least on TikTok, it's live. We're doing it together. It won't sit there. But I don't edit my YouTube videos. If I'm talking crazy, I'm talking crazy. I don't edit it out. Okay, now these ones, you really just have to, we should just chain piece the whole lot of them. I don't even know if I have enough. Because I could make extra. I might have extra. Okay, so now you're done. That's it. 2 snowballs per piece. Don't have to do 4. So that's great. So now what we're going to do is we're going to press them. And I think you just roll it. I'm going to check the pressing. I don't think it changes. Nope, they're all pressed outwards. Okay. They're all pressed out, whether it's for 17 or 18, and they're the same, right? It's just the layout that changes. So we're going to talk about the layout, and then we'll make a couple of them. I'll have to make a couple more to get them all. But this is, if I was doing this without teaching, I would just sew all of them. Just chain piece the whole kit and caboodle. Okay? So I didn't get skip on my book. No. Free. All right. Now, move those out of the way. Move that out of the way. That's garbage. Okay. So now you have to square these up. So it says in the book, I can't give you these instructions. Only 50 something squares to go. No, it's more than that. You need, no, it's not 50 something. No, it's not more than that. It's 10 and 4. But yeah, there's like a bunch of these. Okay. Well, 50 something. Okay. So now you're going to square these up. So if you have the ruler you need, it's going to be much easier to square them up because you just lay it on and then you just cut off anything that doesn't fit. Do you have to square these up? No. No, you can square them up. If you choose, you can square them up after. If it's just a little bit, I wouldn't even cut it off, really, unless it's making your block wonky. But you can square them up here. 4, 10 and 4, but there's like 4 in each block. Yeah, I know it's 40 for the 17. You need 40 of these little suckers. And then you need 2 2, 4, 6. 6 times 4 is 24, so you need 64 green things. If we're getting right down to the nitty gritty. So 64 of these little suckers. So that means you have to snowball them. 64 times 2 is 164 would be 128 snowball corners. How's that? You still want to do it, Missy? You want to do them all? The back of my machine reminds me of puzzle hand. Oh, doing them all. Yep. Okay, we're doing them all. So we're gonna keep going on TikTok. We will stop on the YouTube thing because they'll probably die anyways. Their camera. Okay, so for our block 17, this is what it's gonna look like. Okay, I don't think it matters where you put the dark or the light. I don't think that actually matters at all. I really don't. It becomes an X, and it's a leaf. It is called leaflets. So this is a leaflet. There's your leaflet. So then you're going to sew 4 of these together and you're going to do this 10 times. You can change the colors as much as you want. Use as many greens as you want. She only used 2. I used a ton. I think I used 5 or 6 or something. And I have some other really fun greens in there too. It's beautiful. Thank you, Missy. Okay, so that is how block 17 works. So let's sew that together. Actually, no, let's not sew that together. Let's do the layout for block 18. So take a picture. That's block 7. I'm not going to 17. I'm not going to put together yet. Now for block 18, it makes a V. Yeah, okay. Makes like a V. It goes like this. So this is block 18. It uses 2 more squares and it's just a different layout. So this is the sprigs, not, I was going to say springs, but there's no N, sprigs, and that's that block. And they just are fillers within the quilt. So let's take a look at the book again. So you can see that there's leaves within the roses and they're just kind of scattered throughout because some of these blocks, again, 24 and a half, and then some are only 4 and a half unfinished, or 16 and a half unfinished, or 8 and a half unfinished. So that's how they fit into the quilt. So I'm going to sew this together, and then I'm just going to chain piece every other green block that I had. So I'm going to sew this one because it had 6 and I made 6. And I think if you've made a square, maybe you've made an X's and O's quilt, that's basically what this is for the block 17. It's the X's and O's quilt. It's just tiny. All right. And it's super fun. Now, did they? Oh, they didn't change them. They kept them. It's all good. And there's instructions in there too, how to press them. I think I'm doing this right. I sewed all right. Let's go find it. Well, you know what? Instead of cutting that, I'm going to take another one and take the only thing I have to watch for is that I leave half of these for the other side. I don't want 2 backgrounds in the same. I don't want to do that. I don't think I want to do that. I'm going to make sure that I only have a few whites, so I'm going to use the white at first. And I didn't count. I literally took the smaller pieces of my background fabrics. I just cut them up. I cut them into strips, then I subcut them into squares, and that's it. That was how I did it. And I did some of those just before class started. Okay, so that one's done. Actually, if I set these into piles of 2, so 2, I'm gonna just separate these. These are not white. No, are they white? No. No, those are off white. Okay. 1 and 1 and 1 and 1 and okay, so when I chain piece the whole lot of them, I don't have to worry about who's who and who's where their thing is. I don't really care. I don't think it matters if my X block or my sprig block here, kind of like a vine, they have different background. I'm not too worried about that. I was more worried about concern. So I'm just going to leave these and I'll beautiful. I made an XO for baby clothes. Exactly. I've made them. I think I gave it to my son's in-laws. I made a quilt like that. And it was really fun, but it was much bigger blocks, much bigger blocks. Okay, so that's sewing. Now let's just go with some chain piecing here. All right. So I just grabbed, oh, there is some with a print, some blocks, and I'm going to just start sewing. And we'll do these corner pieces. And I'm just going to chain piece the whole lot. I am going to press that as soon as I'm done with this first set of the whites, because I'm going to do all the whites, and then I'll separate my off whites until I run out of them. I just don't want to have one of my leaves to have a different color. I don't think I want. I'm thinking it would bother me in the quilt, so I don't think I want to do that. I mean, I could easily do it. Oh, she fell asleep, my baby. Okay, but I can, this means then I can make an X block to show you, and then I can turn off the YouTube before it dies anyways. And it's kind of long. It's 2 hours already. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, we've been here for a while. Okay. But we will come back and we will put all this together next Wednesday, I think. So there's the sprig block 18. So that's that. And we will square it up to whatever the size is. I will do that all at the end. I think I use Jason's Yetter's fabric for it. Oh, cool. But we're getting so many done. Yes, we are. We are doing so great. Okay. So now I have those, and now I'm going to take these and I'm going to sew the other side. I just don't want to, like I said, mix up the background. I don't think I care if the X blocks has different, whatever. I'm not worried about the overall block. I'm just worried about the corners. I kind of want them to be the same. Maybe I'm just being picky. It's my quilt. I can be as picky as I want. Right? Right. Okay. I can make like X blocks for you. And these are square and this is a rectangle. That comes out to be a rectangle. Is that white? Yeah. Alrighty. I can make one X for sure. So I have, the nice thing about this is that I have one X block with the white as the background, the white fairy flakes or whatever it's called, and I have one sprig with the same. Now there's a lot of these, so we shall see. I guess I should have counted how many. You know what I'm going to do? Okay. That works for me. No judgment here. But yeah, I know, no judgment. Thank you. I don't have any judgment. And I think it's good to incorporate different backgrounds in this type of quilt. I think it's, so I'm going to cut these. What is that? Okay, I wanted to make an X block before we turn off the YouTube. And then I'll just stay on here on TikTok. And we will get these all done. I just think that if people come on the TikTok one, well, you can or on the YouTube one, you can fast forward and rewind and all that. So you need 4 blocks. I don't think you need them to be all matching. They do opposites, so I'm going to do opposites. Oh, actually, I only have, I don't even have, whatever. I don't think they need to be matching. It's a leaves change colors, people. I don't have an even number. Anyways, it's fine. Okay, so let's go press these. The iron's just over here. So they all get pressed out, 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 out. And you can square them up to the size again. Doing these stitch and flips isn't supposed to change the size of the block. It's only supposed to give you a little bit of color in that area. So these need to be trimmed. So that's my trim plan. After this, I'm just going to sew like a crazy person. Okay, so we're going to do the X, which is like that. And then, nope, like that. And then like that. So my X will be 3 different fabrics, which isn't going to hurt anyone. That's a leaf for that. Somebody complains about my leaf, they will get a slap. So the sprig block is part of block number 18. This X or the leaf block is the X block, and that's part of 17. That is 17. And then just have it go in the opposite directions, line it up. And yeah, this is going to be absolutely stunning. I don't care. It's going to be great. Of course, if you're picky, you can use all the same background for everything. And then you don't have to worry about anything because all your blocks are done. Same way. I like to live a little. So, and I probably have more of this white fabric somewhere. I just don't feel like using it. Getting it out there. These are leaves. They're supposed to be fun and funky and interesting. I'm forgetting there's water. Okay. There is this one. It's going to be a hot mess. My backgrounds are black, dark gray, medium gray, light gray, white. Oh, it might be a hot mess. There we go. Those are beautiful. So we can trim this up to the size. What size is it supposed to be? That size. Got to find that ruler. We're going to trim this sucker down. If you notice, I didn't trim that in between. I just put the corners, like the pieces that looked pretty good on the inside, so I could trim off this crap. To trim. So much crap to trim. I just did that. So there you go. There is my 17. So this is block 17. This is block 18. You make 10 of these and 4 of these. So I have 9 more to make and 5. No, 3. Okay, I can't even talk anymore. That's what we're doing. Then you're just going to add to all, push this out of the way, to all of our beautiful blocks up here. And actually having them all up here, all the smaller blocks, will make it really easy when I put my big quilt together, the big quilt, because I'll be able to just see and decide what block. And you don't even have to follow any kind of order. You can do whatever. 846 LOL. I might have quit trimming. Oh no, that's okay. All right, thank you everyone on YouTube. We're going to sign off.